The billionaire had given her one impossible task: find him a wife in 30 days. But on the night she presented him with 7 perfect women, he looked past every one of them, walked straight toward her, and quietly said, "I don't want any of them. I want you." What she didn't know was that his choice would force both of them to confront the wounds they had spent years hiding. Emma Carter had never imagined that desperation would lead her into the mansion of a billionaire. She was 29, drowning in unpaid bills, and working 2 jobs just to keep a small apartment over her head. Her younger brother needed money for college, and after their mother's death, Emma had become the person everyone depended on. She had learned not to dream too much because dreams did not pay hospital bills, rent, or tuition. Then one rainy afternoon, a former colleague offered her a strange opportunity. Adrian Blackwood, a 36-year-old billionaire known for his private life and intimidating reputation, needed someone to find him a bride. The payment was enough to change Emma's life. She accepted before she could convince herself it was a ridiculous idea. When Emma first entered Adrian's enormous estate, she expected arrogance. Instead, she found a lonely man standing beside a window overlooking a garden that looked beautiful but somehow felt empty. Adrian explained that his grandfathers will required him to be married within 6 months or lose control of a family foundation that supported thousands of children. He did not want a gold digger, an actress pretending to love him, or someone interested only in his fortune. He wanted a woman who was kind, honest, emotionally strong, and willing to build a real life with him. Emma almost laughed at the absurdity of it all. She was being paid to find love for a man who seemed to have everything except the ability to trust anyone. If stories about second chances touch your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in unexpected love, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness for more emotional stories about hope, kindness, and second chances. Emma began her search carefully. She interviewed dozens of women, listened to their stories, watched how they treated waiters, children, elderly people, and even animals. She quickly discovered that many candidates were attracted to Adrian's wealth rather than Adrian himself. Some asked about his cars before asking what kind of person he was. Others wanted to know how much money they would receive after marriage. Emma rejected them all. Eventually, she found 7 women who seemed different. Each had something special. One was compassionate, another intelligent, another ambitious, another family-oriented, another adventurous, another deeply patient, and the 7th seemed almost perfectly suited to Adrian's personality. Adrian met each woman privately. Emma watched from a distance, taking notes and trying to remain professional. Yet something strange began happening. Adrian always seemed more interested in Emma's opinion than in the women sitting across from him. After every meeting, he asked what she thought. At first she assumed it was because she was doing her job. But slowly, Emma noticed the small things. He remembered how she took her coffee. He noticed when she looked tired. He began leaving meals for her when she worked late. And whenever she mentioned her brother's college expenses, Adrian never treated her like someone asking for charity. He simply asked whether everything was going to be okay. Emma refused to misunderstand his kindness. She reminded herself that she was his employee and nothing more. Besides, she believed people like Adrian belonged with people from his world. She had spent her life counting every dollar. He had never had to worry about whether the electricity would be shut off. Their worlds were too different. Then came the final dinner. All 7 women arrived at Adrian's mansion wearing elegant dresses. The dining room glowed beneath crystal chandeliers, and everything looked like a scene from another world. Emma stood quietly near the wall, holding a folder containing her final recommendations. Adrian entered, looked at the 7 women, and then unexpectedly looked at Emma. He walked toward her. Emma's heart began pounding as he stopped directly in front of her. He took the folder from her hands and placed it on the table without opening it. Then he turned toward the 7 women and thanked them sincerely for coming, explaining that they were all remarkable, but he had made his decision. Emma felt confused. Adrian turned back to her and said that she had spent 30 days searching for the qualities he claimed he wanted in a wife. But during those 30 days, he realized she had demonstrated every quality herself. She had rejected women who wanted his money. She had defended people who could not defend themselves. She had worked until exhaustion without complaining. She had cared for her brother without expecting praise. And most importantly, she had never once treated Adrian like a billionaire. She treated him like a human being. Emma tried to tell him that he was confusing gratitude with love. Adrian admitted that he had thought the same thing at first. But he remembered the moment he knew. It happened one evening when Emma had no idea he was watching. A gardener had accidentally broken an expensive vase in the hallway. The man looked terrified, expecting to be fired. Emma quietly told him that accidents happened and helped him clean up the pieces. She did not know Adrian had been standing nearby. That was when he realized her kindness existed even when nobody was watching. But Emma was afraid. She had been abandoned by people before, and she could not bear the thought of becoming another temporary chapter in a rich man's life. She told Adrian that money could solve many problems, but it could not guarantee love. Adrian agreed. He told her he did not want to buy her affection. He wanted the chance to earn her trust. For the first time in years, Emma allowed herself to cry in front of someone. She admitted that she had spent her entire life believing she had to be useful to deserve love. She had become a sister, caretaker, employee, and problem solver, but she had forgotten how to simply be herself. Adrian reached for her hand and promised that if she ever became his wife, she would never have to prove her worth by sacrificing herself. Months passed before Emma gave him her answer. Their relationship did not begin with a grand wedding or a fairy tale kiss. It began with coffee, honest conversations, awkward silences, arguments, forgiveness, and learning each other's fears. Adrian helped her brother without taking credit for it. Emma encouraged Adrian to repair his relationship with his estranged father. Slowly, the mansion that had once felt cold began to feel like a home. A year later, Emma stood beside Adrian in the same garden where she had once thought their worlds could never meet. There were no 7 candidates, no contracts, and no business arrangement. There were simply 2 people who had discovered that love sometimes arrives disguised as an impossible job. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs a reminder that genuine love cannot be bought, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness for more stories of hope and second chances. And before the story ends, comment, "I believe in second chances," if you believe the right person can enter your life when you least expect it. Emma had been hired to find a bride for a billionaire. She found 7 women who seemed perfect on paper, but Adrian chose the one woman who never tried to impress him. In the end, she discovered something far more valuable than the payment she had been promised, someone who saw her not for what she could do, what she could provide, or how much she could sacrifice, but simply for who she was. And sometimes, that is the greatest kind of love, a love that finds you when you have stopped searching for it.